Okay, we're gonna get started with the cooking demonstration with Lillia from the San Antonio Food Bank.
Yay!
Yay!
Today. All right, guys, we're gonna make a two-part recipe again because I love two-part recipes. So I would say the focus of this recipe is reducing your salt intake. It's very easy for us to buy seasoning packs and cans that have already a lot of salt, and then we sometimes add a little more, right? So we want to try to avoid that. The first part of our recipe is going to be homemade taco seasoning. Now, I do not have the stats on how much salt is in taco seasoning, but I can tell you for sure it's a lot more than the one we're going to make today. These, we're just going to use dry spices. We're going to make our own mix. It's a 1 to 1 to 1 to 1. So we're going to do teaspoons, but if you want to do tablespoons, if you want to do half cup, whatever, it's all the same. So the first thing we're going to do is onion powder. Onion powder is just onions that have been dehydrated and powdered in a factory type setting. I don't think you could make this for yourself, but maybe you could. So we're just going to do 1 teaspoon of onion powder, followed by onion powder's dear friend, garlic powder.
What's the difference between garlic powder and garlic salt?
Garlic salt has salt.
But that's it, like.
So ingredients here are garlic powder only. It's just garlic that's been dried in like a giant dehydrator, okay, and then pure pulped in a giant Roboku, I don't know what they call it, until it's powder. Garlic salt has salt added. That would be, ideally, you would use this one and maybe just add a little bit of salt. Because the garlic salt container is going to have more salt in it than you might add yourself.
Okay, I guess that was kind of in the back of my mind what I was thinking is, so using the full herb or whatever versus the salty one.
Versus the one that's already been salted, right. So we're going to do then a teaspoon of chili powder. Now there's all different kinds of chili powder in the world these days. This one, I don't really know what chilies it's made out of. It doesn't tell you, it just says chili pepper. But you can get Chipotle chili powder. Super delicious. It's a little more expensive and it comes in a little bit smaller container and it's more spicy, just so you know. And I think you can get specific, like a pasilla. I think you can get kind of specific chilies now. That's maybe that's a regional thing. I don't know. I'm gonna use black pepper. There we go. And we're gonna use smoked paprika, which I don't have, but that's okay. Because, you know, when you don't have something, you still have to make the food anyway, right? So we're going to substitute cumin. I think cumin is the flavor that we all here in South Texas like. It's a flavor I like a lot. It's certainly in a lot of things. If it's a flavor you don't like, then just use the smoked paprika or regular paprika. The only difference in smoked paprika and regular paprika is the same pepper. They just take and smoke the pepper before it's dehydrated. So this is going to be our taco seasoning. This is kind of a big bag for such a small amount, but that's okay. Let's just take it up, and then that's that, right? So it's done. When you buy this at the store, it's basically all these things with a ton of salt and probably some ingredients to keep it from caking up. So some chemical agents that are perfectly edible, but keep it from turning into little rocks, you know? So that we're going to set aside for a moment, and then we're going to start on our soup. Now this soup is all out of cans. Sometimes that seems like not so great. But when you don't have any, like let's say you didn't go to the store, but you happen to have all these ingredients in your pantry, this is a super fast, just like tortilla soup-ish, that is all out of cans. We're going to use all reduced sodium cans. So we're going to end up with a tasty soup, very fast to make. I didn't have to worry about anything going bad. It's not like I'm buying stuff and then it sits in the fridge and then I forgot about it and then I have to make the soup and I don't really want to make the soup and it doesn't come out as good because I don't really want to do it. So our first ingredient is going to be canned chicken. There's a lot of varieties of canned chicken. There's like, I think they're all breast meat though. I don't think I've ever seen any dark meat in cans. There's chunks, they're shredded. It's gonna kind of shred up when it starts to heat. It just kind of falls apart because of course it's already fully cooked, just like Gouda. So it's up to you if you buy the shredded or the chunks. Just make sure that it says low sodium. I don't believe there is a sodium free, but there's a low sodium and there's a regular one. Of course, low sodium is better. So the first thing we're going to do is kind of allow this chicken breast to marinate in some of our taco seasoning. Now, you can also do this in a bag. There's no reason to get a dish dirty if you don't feel like it. What does it tell us? How much? 1/4 of the quantity. So I'm going to eyeball that. I don't think that we have to concern ourselves with, making sure it's actually a teaspoon and a half or whatever that 1/4 would be. We're going to set this aside because we're going to need it later. And I'm just going to kind of let it sit there. Let whatever juice is left in the chicken kind of soak up those spices, and that's going to be that. That's going to set aside in the time it takes us to do the rest. Our taco seasoning doesn't want to cooperate, so we'll put it right here. So we're going to start with olive oil, of course, and relatively low flame because we're not going to, the only thing that we're going to really saute is the garlic. So garlic browns at a pretty low temperature. So we want to have it fairly low. I need that. I think it tells us a tablespoon. I think that's about a tablespoon. And 2 cloves of garlic. I'm going to use a little tool for the garlic. I think we might have used this last time too. It's called a microflame, and it just makes it like almost like a paste. If you have a garlic press, that works as well. You can chop it. I'm going to crack it to get the skin to break, and then pull it off. Pull all the little paper off. I think doing this takes longer than actually chopping up the garlic, probably. But so far, they haven't invented the perfectly peeled garlic clove yet. But soon. I'm sure it's coming.
I'm sure Monsanto is working on that.
I'm sure they're working on it as we speak. The one where the paper just falls right off. All right, so you can chop it with a knife if that's your preference. If you have one of these little tools, I love this tool because it's just perfect. It's going to make our garlic just these tiny little bits, and we're not going to end up with those kind of big chunks of garlic that we bite into, and it's a little bit of a surprise. This is also a great tool if you want to do zest, like lemon zest or anything like that for your muffins, your low sugar, low fat muffins, or any of those things. It's also really good for nutmeg, and it even will work for cinnamon sticks. You have to be a little patient with that though, because those are really hard. But nutmeg is perfect.
So what would be the difference? Oh, I would say between this and the garlic powder that we use. Could we just use garlic powder?
Sure, you could use garlic powder. Yeah, it wouldn't make a difference at all. There's a little bit of a difference in the flavor just because one's dry. And this is going to be like a little brighter in flavor, but there's no reason that you can't use the garlic powder. So usually when you saute onions and garlic, and the onions always go first because they take a lot longer. So with this, we have to kind of watch it because garlic will go pretty fast, and then all of a sudden you'll have brown bits, which doesn't actually taste bad, but it's the same, right?
Garlic is great.
Garlic smells good.
It smells good to me. It means something's cooking.
Right. Exactly. We're going to use 2 different kinds of beans, and this is where we kind of stray from the traditional tortilla soup, I guess, because normally I would say tortilla soup does not have beans in it. However, as we already know, garbanzo beans, excellent source of fiber, and also black beans as well. These are both, this one has actually no salt added at all, and this is an ATB brand. They had, it's on the shelf. The garbanzo beans are a little harder to find in the low salt or no salt category. So in that case, if we can't find them, we're just going to rinse them. Just dump the can in a colander and let it go under the water, or you can just rinse them in the can, but sometimes they want to, they want to jump out. They don't want to meet their destiny.
Oh, I forgot to tell you great news. Yesterday somebody made your pasta salad concoction for my lunch, and it was really good. Was it you, Alex? Good job, Alex.
I went a little overboard. I got like 5 different ingredients.
Yeah, right. It makes a lot of
colorful and pretty. I was so proud. And my heart was like,
I was so healthy and proud.
Yeah. Well, I ate it with all some other stuff, but yeah.
That's okay. That's okay.
But I did have some stuff on my plate that was colorful.
Right.
Sure, I give everybody an option.
Right. It was good.
You
did
can't
a good
make
job.
a healthy choice if there are no healthy choices to make.
Right.
So that's very good. Very good.
Great job, Alex. You'll be our backup healthy guy.
You're on. Next time it's you.
For no reason, I just want to spiralize because after we had the initial one, I was like, yeah, I'm going to get one. I need to do
And you spiral
Spiralizer.
My wife was like, you need to use this now. I can't use this.
Right. Okay. Very good. It all worked out. And add these in. I drained pretty much all the liquid out of them, but of course there's always still some liquid in them. If you don't like that liquid, you can rinse them and get rid of it completely. But I think that is good, flavorful liquid, especially when it doesn't have all the salt in it. Then you're not thinking, oh, I got to get as much of this out as possible. So I'm all for that. I say keep a little bit of the liquid in. And tomatoes. Now, tomatoes. There's a million different kinds of tomatoes, right? I think we want to use at least the chopped, maybe the crushed, but if you do crushed, you may have to kind of chop them up yourself a little bit. These have oregano in them already, and I chose this can because we had it. So if you have those fire roasted ones, they're like super delicious. Or really any, it just doesn't matter. I would maybe not get one that has, for this recipe, that has, basil or kind of a flavor that may not go with what we're doing. But I can't imagine that any of them would really be bad. So that's just personal discretion. Whichever brand, whichever kind you like, just try to get the ones, again, that are low sodium. So we're going to let this cook for a minute. And chicken stock or vegetable stock, depending on your preference. Totally up to you. You can find the low sodium one, that's great. If you like the one in the little Tetra Pak, fine too. If you make your own, even better, right? Always good to make your own, but sometimes with stocks, it's tricky because, you want to make a lot at a time. And then what do you do with all of it, right? Okay. So at this point, we will add our chicken. And you'll see that, like right now, it's pretty big pieces, but once it's cooked down a little bit, it's going to kind of shred up into smaller pieces. You could do this with not a can of chicken, it could be a regular chicken breast. But this is a quick cook time, and so you would want to have it fully cooked first. If you food prep and you cook up a bunch of chicken in the beginning of the week, this would definitely be something you could do with that. If you don't food prep and you just have a chicken laying around, also be an option. Add the chicken stock, and the recipe calls for 2 cups, and that may seem good in the moment, but then if you have any leftovers, it gets kind of thicker. And so you may want to add, a little more if you have to heat it up for any reason. Or you may like it super chunky. It's up to you. And we're going to add the rest of our spice here. Well, maybe not the rest. Most of the rest. And then we're going to let it cook for a second. And during that time, I'm going to talk about all the things we can put on top of it. That's what makes it good, right? All right. I'm going to go ahead and turn it up a little bit. Again, your recipe says to let it cook for 30 minutes. we don't have that time, so that's okay. That's the great thing about fully cooked everything is we don't really have to worry. We just need it to heat through. The longer it cooks, the more the flavors will kind of meld together, and you won't taste those real specific different flavors. So that's, something to keep in mind. This is definitely something you could cook for 30 minutes on the stove and then can sit in the fridge for a couple of days, and it's gonna get better every.
Yes.
All right, so it's not tortilla soup without some kind of
Tortilla
product. These are just strips. I bought them just like this. You don't have to buy them just like this. You can use like a tostada. If you like the baked tostadas, you buy them anyway. Crunch them up and throw it in there. You can fry your own, which seems like a lot of trouble. But these taste really good. And tortilla chips are gluten free. Just want y'all to know that. Yeah. We're gonna put cheese on top. Again, any kind you want. I think what we suggest is cheddar, but any kind you want. I personally do not advocate for buying low-fat cheese because I don't think it's as satisfying as the full-fat cheese. And with something like this, that is but that's the reason you eat a lot of it. Something like this that is so low-fat anyway, adding, a tablespoon of full-fat cheese on top, I think that it's okay. I think that you're still doing the right thing if you do that. Now, some of my dietitian friends would probably find that news horrifying, but I think in moderation, it's okay. We're not going to eat a handful of it. We're going to put, it's a garnish, tiny bit. And then we're going to put some avocado. Now, avocado season is wrapping up, y'all. Really a bummer.
The price went up
because they're now traveling from a much further distance. It's a sad thing. It's a sad piece of news. But it will come back. Avocado season will return. So we're going to use these. I like these little small ones. The big ones are good too. Doesn't matter. So to get the avocado out of there, I think you cut it in half and then you just kind of go one direction with your being very careful, of course. And then you go the other direction, and then you kind of already have cubes. Okay. Not really cubes, but they're rectangles.
You like rectangles?
Easier than trying to get the. It's easier than trying to take it out and slice it. I think.
I feel like it never works out. I know.
Never looks as clean, right?
That's great.
That's
someone else. Like the entire avocado.
That's why you do it. Every time you gotta eat an avocado.
That is incredible. That's
Oh, it is not. That was so square. Really? And I think we only need one. All right, so this is like boiling away. It smells pretty good, right?
It smells great. It smells so good in here.
Now, at this point in your own home, nobody will know any better if you add a little salt, right? But you should taste it first. You should make sure that you even need that salt, because the great thing about spices, or last time we did the zucchini noodles, and that had a lot of herbs in it, is it just, things just don't require as much salt when you have all those flavors already in there. And that might be one of the benefits of the fresh garlic, is it has a stronger flavor, and so maybe it kind of flavors it through more, and you don't require as much salt at the end. Yeah, so it doesn't need salt at all. Well, okay, maybe that was a little bit of an exaggeration, but it's pretty good.
Really, if I do say so myself.
This is actually not my recipe. This recipe somebody developed for a certain a class where we don't think people have a lot of access to fresh food, but it's so good that we decided we'd just use it for everything. So that's it. So we could let it cook for longer, but we're not going to. We're just going to try it and see what we think. Does everybody want everything on it? Does anybody not want cheese or are they good?
I'll take theirs.
Okay. Seems to be missing my container, but. How many hours?
You want me to get anything for you?
No, it's fine. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
I will maybe ask you
Oh, good. That way we're not pushing it.
to. Spoons. Okay, there.
Yeah.
Maybe put the stuff on? That way. In a glove?
I'll come back to
The way we can.
it.
Bean on the floor.